Hey guys, welcome back to the Dev Show. I'm here today with Kathleen Cardoso, and you were in Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yes, I
Yes.
was.
Please don't touch her,
You're
sir.
just a kid?
You murdered Mysterio? You helped him murder Mysterio?
No, I didn't.
Come on,
Can't even.
stop it. Whoa. He did it.
All this time, people looked up to this boy and called him a hero.
Some may say or argue that it is one of the most anticipated movies of all time. That's something to kind of get excited about. I mean, in your career, how many gigs have you done before like this?
This is like my first big gig, and for it to be Spider-Man No Way Home and how like iconic it's already become is really huge, and it's a great first step for me. I've really only done, student films and some local theater before this. And so for this to be kind of like my first thing, it's really, really exciting.
This is a spoilers warning for anybody who's watching at home. All three Spider-Men show up. Who was your favorite growing up, or did you have a favorite at all?
That's like the question everyone knows they're gonna get, but they're not prepared for. But I grew up with Maguire. Like my mom took me to see all three Spider-Man when he was Spider-Man when I was a kid. So growing up, I kind of have to go with like Tobey Maguire. But I think Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland have done like such a great job, and they're still like distinct in their own versions of Spider-Man that they're kind of just all perfection, and it almost seems like a disservice to pick one. But for all intents and purposes, I have to go with Maguire just because that's what I grew up with. That's what I know, like as Spider-Man. Even my mom was more excited to see Maguire pop out of the portal than she was to see me in theater. So that tells you something.
Oh my. How was the reaction in the theater that you were in? Because like where I was, it was deafening. You could barely, like people were screaming so loud. How was it there?
So I don't know why I chose to do this, but I went in the afternoon with like everyone's like parents and little kids. So it wasn't like this hype thing that you're used to with like Endgame and Infinity War.
Yeah.
So it wasn't this big hype thing. Just basically my row was like the hype row because I invited friends and family. So we were like the hype people, but it was still a surreal moment to see myself and see the whole film.
Yeah. When I seen it the second time, which was the first time for my friend,
Mhm.
the worst possible situation in a movie theater, a crying baby.
I had a crayon baby.
You had a crying baby during
I
No Way
had a
Home?
baby. Hmm.
Yeah, I feel for you. Like I feel like but this baby only cried at every important moment in the film. He started
The baby
crying.
was on. The baby knew it was up.
I mean, like, yeah, but I'm sitting there like, Norman, I'm something of a scientist, and the baby starts crying. I'm like, I'm so glad that this is not my first time seeing it, because I would have been so disappointed with the baby sitting there. Did you know, and were you like, what was your reaction to seeing yourself released in the promo, and like the scene was released, right? So what
Yeah,
was that
like
like?
when the first minute like trailer type of thing came out, I hadn't seen it because I actually assumed that they like cut me because I was supposed
Right?
to do some voiceover, and they're like, no, we don't need it anymore. So like automatically I'm like, oh no, this is bad
Oh,
news. But I got a text from someone saying like you're like I saw you, hey, I saw you in the first minute, and then he goes, people were not really happy with what you did in that trailer, and I kind of had to like stop for a minute and stop what I was doing and go watch it, and I like couldn't believe it. And of course I watched it over and over and over again. So everything just feels so surreal when it comes out.
yeah. For one, yourself, of course, it's gonna feel like kind of not real. But
Yeah.
for me, was watching Toby, not so much Andrew, but Toby the whole time, for some reason it felt fake because of how much people were theorizing on everything. So like I couldn't believe my eyes when I was seeing what I was seeing. Didn't feel real, right?
No, I think that moment is like so pivotal where people's like, okay, they're actually they've done it, and people are kind of like waiting for it to be like one of those wake up dream type of
Mm-hmm.
movies. And like, Toby and Andrew are in the film, and for me, I thought that was like great, and they just did it so well to kind of because they're so like different Spider-Man types and
Yeah,
versions, so having them come together, I thought was great, and of course, it was super comedic too.
yeah. It was great. Sometimes when I sign up for something or like I look at something, look into doing something, you have that kind of there's this little voice in your head that's like, okay, is this actually gonna happen? Am I actually gonna get anywhere with this? Did you think that you were gonna get a call back?
No, I don't think we ever do as actors, because the audition process is so kind of like imaginative, because you're just in front of a camera with a reader and you're just kind of trying to be this character. So I wasn't really going into it saying, I'm going in this to book the job. I kind of just went into it just trying to have fun, especially because I didn't know what I was auditioning for. There were so
Right.
many Marvel projects that were filming at the time that I auditioned that I didn't even like think about what is this possibly going to be. I thought, oh, this is a Marvel thing. I really don't know what it is. It could be anything. So I kind of just went in kind of blindfolded in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. At what point did you find out that it was Spider-Man?
Um, I found out 3 days before like the original shoot date, which I was supposed to shoot that scene December of last year, and it ended up being in March. The first AD Jeff called and like let me know, okay, well, here's what you're gonna be doing in the film, and I was like, whoa. I didn't expect it to be Spider-Man No Way Home at all. So that was a
Right.
really big surprise for me too.
Yeah. So that's a big start to your career as an actor, and I mean having a featured extra role is something that you should like really be proud of. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely a big deal for this to be my first thing. I think now my expectations are kind of too high, and I kind of have to now flow the wave of being an actor and just being really eager to get onto the next audition, because you want to be on after your first day on set. You want to be on set every single day because it's so amazing.
Yeah, for sure. From what sets I've been on, it's like this there's this feeling and it's just there, you know? I don't know if you can
The
relate.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. The energy, and you think because it was a large crowd, it was a large crowd.
Hmm.
I'm like, oh man, am I gonna be nervous? But as soon as I started, like everyone's energy is just so positive and it's so great. Everyone's excited to be there. It's just like this is so much better than any acting teacher has ever said it would be.
Yeah. And so what was the atmosphere like specifically on No Way Home? Did they know for sure like how everything was going to go, or did they seem like they were kind of not unorganized but still on their toes with figuring stuff out?
Dude, honestly, to me, I thought they were like on like the ball. There were just so many people like in like the crew. It was such a large crew, of course, because it's such a big film. I felt like I didn't really know what was going on. I was just trying to like absorb and just nod and say, okay, absolutely. But as I tried to absorb like my surroundings, what I saw, I thought they were on the ball, even when they had to make a slight adjustment due to like the screens around. I mean, they were on it. There was no type of like unorganized chaos, I guess.
Right on.
On set, I actually didn't, even more so the day of, I didn't know what the scene was going to be. They
Oh,
handed me the sides for the scene when I got to my trailer, and that's when I found out that I'm actually going to be, in the same scene with Zendaya and Tom Holland. So I definitely freaked out a little bit in my trailer. I was having the oh my gosh feeling, like
yeah.
trying to calm myself down, but it was like from audition to like set, it was kind of like full of surprise in that type of sense because it's
Hmm.
Marvel. So that's definitely one of like my biggest things, was showing up that day and really not knowing what to expect, and then getting sides and realizing, how cool this day is actually going to be for me.
Yeah. And you got to like actually work and interact with Zendaya, though. Like, I mean, because you grabbed her, right?
Yeah, so like the script said I'm supposed to, say those lines and then kind of reach over trying to take his mask off. Um, in the beginning, I was kind of like not wanting to do it because it's like, I don't want to harass Tom Holland. But in his very sweet and British way, he's like, be as aggressive as you can. It's going to be so much better. And I was like, okay. And I went for it. And from there forth, I just got really comfortable, and the all the extras energy were just like so amazing. It was just really the greatest. Everyone was super hyped, like it was a New York City crowd. So every take felt like the first take. It was really great.
How many takes did you do?
Shoot.
I mean, I know you don't remember the exact number, but like
It was a
estimate.
lot.
A lot?
I think it was a lot. I mean, although because I think there were multiple cameras. So I'm not sure how many takes we were doing like per angle or per shot.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of things would move and I wouldn't see the same camera where it was before. So I can't say for sure, but it felt like a lot of shots, but it's because crew was like moving. So you never really knew what shot you were doing except like the crane in the beginning.
Yeah. Right
But it
on.
felt
And I mean, that's something that you got to look back on in your for the rest of your life. I mean, working like you talked to Tom, is what you're saying?
so like I didn't like talk to them. I kind of I was trying to be as respectful as I can, just because they were kind of more to themselves. I figured, they've been filming for months. They were super nice, but I wasn't trying to like be like super buddy buddy trying to make them my best
Yeah, yeah,
friends.
of course.
They were really great like scene partners and they were just really on it. I will say when I'm like saying my line to Zendaya, like I will say most of the takes I almost break character because I'm staring at her because I'm being so dumb, like being so rude, and I keep forgetting that this is MJ and not Zendaya, and I kind of have to push forward sometimes because it is kind of like a little
Yeah,
surreal moment where you break character a little bit.
for sure.
Mhm.
But I mean, that's of course, like that's awesome. Do you want to do anything like writing? Do you want to write or direct or just act? What are your goals?
My goal right now is really acting in the craft, but I know in the future I would really like to write some type. This is way down, but like write some type of sitcom that involves my family, just because I have a family of immigrants and I have so many like stories of when they like first came and they lived in Jersey, and I always have this kind of like my long term dreams to kind of do a sitcom type of thing based on my family.
Right on. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
right. That's awesome. But I wish you, like I said, I wish you the best of success. Is there anything that you want to kind of shout out or promote, or like what's your social media or anything like that? You have the floor.
I don't. I've been really chill this holiday season. I'm not really working on anything. I mean, feel free to follow me on Instagram. It's cat_B and KitKat. I post daily contents. I work with a friend who is now a personal trainer, and she's like doing this big startup, Strong Girls Fitness Club. So if anyone's interested in the Atlanta area, that's a really good tool for you as well for physical and your mental health. Yeah, definitely.
Right on. Awesome, Kathleen. Thanks for joining me. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Absolutely. You have a good one, dude.